Alrighty, what's up guys? Single player Nacho here. Grinding, gnashing teeth, and taking a shit eyeballs. It's the Soldats from Resident Evil Village. The Soldats are engineered for one thing and one thing only: kill, destroy, and kill. But there's something very dark and twisted about their origin. What we're looking at is a monster, drill for a hand, and gray decaying skin. But this used to be an innocent villager. There's a reason why many of the stable boys and farmhands in the village started disappearing left and right. The evil mind of Karl Heisenberg. This madman scientist would take innocent villagers back to his factory and take out their insides and stuff, replacing the hearts, human organs, with mechanical pieces. The monster that we see before us, the Soldats, are far, far detached from who they used to be. I can't think of anyone more innocent than someone that works with hay. But the crucial detail here is that the villagers used for Soldat experimentation aren't alive. No, these are picked up corpses, reanimated to serve Karl Heisenberg. We're looking at walking, sort of talking, murder cases. So how was Karl Heisenberg able to pick up so many villager corpses in secrecy? I theorize that we take a closer look at the wells throughout the village. Most of the water wells serve as a little treasure hunt. Use that crank and you'll get a little goat or a doll thing. But there's one well in particular that actually takes you to a death trap. Now it's this unique well that is only accessible right before Heisenberg's factory level. It's pretty coincidental. You go down that well and it is a spike-filled booby trap. I like that word, booby. Bloodstains fill the walls, the floor, and the spikes, of course. There's even a rag filled with blood clots. Gross. Yummy. In Heisenberg's experimentation notes, he states that he found one Soldat candidate from a stable boy that actually fell down the well.
Medical log, revitalization surgery. The subject is Oscar the stable boy, 20 years old. He fell down the well while drunk. Body is in good condition. Chest incision complete. Now to remove the heart and vital organs and implant the control device.
I have no doubt, even though it's not clearly stated within Resident Evil Village, that Karl Heisenberg set up death traps all over the village to acquire corpses. This is of course his MO. This is what Karl Heisenberg likes to do. We see this when Ethan is being trampled through this death maze with lichens, a horrible reference to American ground beef.
Nothing like fresh American ground beef!
So Heisenberg undoubtedly found his victims through the wells and other places, I'd assume. I think one of the more disturbing details is that it's mostly stable boys. The only reason I can think of why Karl Heisenberg would use stable boys as perfect Soldat experimentation is that they have to be gifted physically, and if you look at the Soldats, they're pretty ripped, got the shredded bodies. So Heisenberg looks for people that can move heavy stuff and are pretty gullible, easily fooled. But then how does that explain the amount of Soldats in Karl Heisenberg's factory? Take a look at that tractor line. We're looking at 1,000+ stable boys that have just randomly have gone missing. Now, of course, I'm joking. I don't think they're all stable boys. And you might think maybe Karl Heisenberg just picks up random dead corpses, unburying the dead in cemeteries. But I doubt that's the case because Karl Heisenberg likes to use freshly dead corpses. This is wild speculation on my part. Because the Soldats, their variations, and even Sturm, the helicopter face, they draw inspiration from German military. I mean, Soldat literally means soldier in German. Karl Heisenberg is also a very German name. Could the Soldats be the discarded corpses of war veterans? It could also explain why some of these soldats have amputated limbs like the arms. Of course, a very giant leap. But what can possibly explain the amount of soldats in that factory? There's gotta be at least thousands of them. And the even bigger question, and possibly even more fucked up question, is how are some of them still alive? At some point, Heisenberg understands that dead corpses just aren't that smart. So he switches up the formula from dead corpses to live victims that become soldats. These soldats are tried and tested, and they're actually more capable in battle. And sadly, these live soldats actually still understand the concept of language. Mr. Carl is pretty damn abusive to his friend Sturm, tells him to shut the hell up.
Shut your fucking hole! Sorry about that.
And Sturm actually listens for a couple of seconds. There's even a very minor gibberish that comes out of the soldat's mouth. They're trying to say something, but just don't have the calculations to do so. It's mechanical gibberish. But what was it all really for? A gigantic metal army, as Heisenberg so eloquently puts it. Carl wanted his soldats to completely take down Mother Miranda and end this control scheme. But here's the thing, where is all the finance for this metal army headbang come from? Beautiful, precious jewels. The caverns that accompany Heisenberg's factory have some Moroaika digging for those beautiful, precious jewels. That'd be a pretty good way to get some money to buy heaps and heaps of scrap that eventually goes onto your soldat army. The factory itself is very self-sufficient. You can see how everything works from the piles all the way down to that tractor line of soldats. But what made these Frankenstein monsters truly come alive? Electrodes and shocks to the brain. This X-ray provides us a very decent anatomical explanation as to how these waves entered the poor villagers and victims that became soldats. But no, that wasn't enough. I could just imagine the horror as we see this path of blood that leads from the boiler room to this surgical table. It's so disgusting. This is where Heisenberg removed people's hearts, induced muscle stimulation, but the biggest development in the soldats development was a CADU. These pulsating and just absolutely horrid organisms are what gave the soldats life. It seems that no matter where you go in the Resident Evil universe, Mother Miranda's influence is very apparent. And it all stems, no pun intended, from pain, sadness, and most importantly, grief. Grief felt by the entire village in the game. Families missing their loved ones, never to be seen again, and they were all being treated by a malicious, evil Carl Heisenberg. I wonder what the air felt like in the village with all of these disappearances, not only to Carl Heisenberg's surgical table, but also in the castle and possibly even in the water reservoir. It's a pretty dark thought, but what goes around comes around, and the soldats are a perfect vehicle to show off the destruction of the entire human psyche. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you noticed that my voice sounds different, it's because I have gigantic cheeks thanks to my wisdom tooth extraction. I love it. Comment down below what you thought about the soldats. Were you actually terrified of their appearance? Were you taken by surprise by their lore, their backstory? Comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more horror lore videos, lists, and mysteries. Have an awesome rest of your day, everyone. And as always, stay single.